My name is Tamar, and I am the owner and professional makeup artist at Tamar Artistry. We are based in Dallas, Fort Worth, and we specialize in serving brides stunning and timeless glam for their weddings, but we also teach women how to confidently achieve flawless makeup. And so today's course, I will be your makeup artist. So moving on to her eyes, we're going to use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Freeze, and I'm just going to take a spoolie. And this really serves as a great way to keep the brow hairs in place, okay? This is the strongest hold, so if you want something that's a little softer, you can use a brow gel. Okay. Her brows are absolutely beautiful. So we don't need to do much at all in terms of filling them in and evening out her shape. When it comes to your brows, you really want to focus on areas where you don't have any hair. Okay. And before I start to fill it in, let me go ahead and say the beginning of your brow should definitely be aligned with your nostril. If you have your pencil here from the tip of your nose to your iris, your arch should be here, and then the tail should end where your eye ends and be aligned with the tip of your nose, okay? So her shape is already there, but I do notice a little bit of a sparse area here right at the arch, okay? And so we're just gonna use a pencil. I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills pencil in the color soft brown. We're creating a very sexy, sultry, soft glam look. Okay. And again, you want to focus on the areas where there isn't any hair. Okay. And we want to use short, hair-like strokes. To really fill in the brow. I do like to go a shade lighter than the natural brow hair because it really creates more depth and dimension. Okay, you want the pressure in the beginning of your brow to be very light. And as you work your way to the tail of the brow, you want to intensify your pressure. Okay, so as you work your way to the tail of the brow, you want to intensify your pressure. But as you work your way to the beginning of the brow, you want that pressure to be really light. Okay, I'm gonna have you turn towards me. Okay, and we're gonna work on the other side of the brow, the other brow. So again, focusing on areas where there isn't any hair and using short hair-like strokes. Keeping the pressure light in the beginning of the brow. But as we work our way to the tail, we can intensify our pressure. And I really like the look and effect of having a little bit of sparse area showing because I feel like it makes the brow look really realistic as opposed to having every square inch filled with product. Like I like for the brow to look like hair and to look fluffy, especially with her brow hairs and her brow shape. It's the perfect look for that. Okay, so we're gonna move on. And at the end of the look, if you feel like you want to add something here or there, you can totally do that. Okay, we're gonna sculpt her brow by using our NARS Creamy Radiant Concealer in the shade Light 2.5. And we're gonna be using a dense brush. This is a concealer brush by MAC. This is the 242. And so we're gonna sculpt her brows and move on to eyeshadow, okay? Sculpting her brows, what I wanna do is coat both sides of the brush, and we literally want to carve or trace the base of the brow. I'm using the tip of the bristles and short strokes to carve out her brow. This is going to clean it up, but it's also serving as a highlight where her brow is naturally highlighted. You can totally skip this step, but I think it's great to do because it really creates an amazing look. Okay, so again, we're gonna coat both sides of our brush. And we're going to carve underneath the brow using the tip of the bristles to really trace and underline underneath the brow. Okay, if you need to flip your brush over to get more product or dip your brush back into the concealer to get more product, feel free to do so. And we're going to drag that color down. Okay. You definitely want to spend the most time on your skin and brows because your brows frame the face. Okay. So aside from skin, your brows is the second most important thing. So I'm just taking a fluffy brush here and I like to flick up the beginning of the brow, of that concealer here in the beginning of the brow. It just softens it, makes it look a little more realistic and not super harsh. Okay. So we're blending, tapping, and pressing. And so I do like to take a step back just to make sure everything's symmetric and even because we want these brows to be twins, okay? We want them to be identical. Some people say like, oh, they're gonna be sisters or cousins. Like, no, the idea is to get it as symmetric as you possibly can. Once you're happy with everything, then you can move on to your eyeshadow, okay? When it comes to your eyeshadow, because we're creating my signature sexy soft glam look here, or any look that you create, you always want to prime, then your next step will be to define, then we're gonna add shine, and then you want to line. So prime, define, shine, line. If you follow that method, that's gonna allow you to create a beautiful look each and every time, no matter what colors you're using, okay? So I'm gonna take the Urban Decay Primer Potion. I'm gonna have you close your eyes. And this is in the shade Minor Sin. And I'm gonna take a brush to prime her eyelid. Okay, you can use your finger for this step. You can use the wand from the actual product. But for sanitary purposes, I'm going to use the brush. Okay, your primer is going to help with the opacity of your colors. And it's also going to help with the longevity of your eyeshadow and prevent any creasing, smudging, or fading. Why spend all that time in the morning doing your eyeshadow or whatever time of day only for it to smudge and crease and move at the end of the day. We don't want that, right? So I'm gonna have you open your eyes and we're going to move into the next step, which is to define, okay? Because her face is beautifully bronzed, we're actually going to use bronzer for her eyeshadow today. So this is the NARS bronzer. This is my little mini here, and this is in the shade Laguna. And we're gonna take a fluffy brush, okay? We're taking a fluffy brush because we want a very sheer and diffuse amount of product in this area. We're gonna go straight into the socket of her eye. I'm gonna have you look straight ahead at the camera, okay? And we're really gonna focus in the hollow of her eye. Okay. And I'm using windshield wiper motions. I'm gonna have you look down now. I'm using windshield wiper motions because I want to deposit that color and make it really, really concentrated. So I'm going back using windshield wiper motions. And as you can see, it's starting to build up that color, okay? We're gonna go on the other side as well. So I'm gonna have you look down and we're gonna focus right on the hollow of her eye. Her eye shape is a true almond. And so I'm following the natural shape of her eye. Most people will strive to go for a almond shape. A lot of people find that almond shape to be universally flattering. Okay, so I'm just gonna follow her natural eye shape. As you can see here, I am bringing this up to the brow bone and also in the hollow of her nose bridge there, okay? And I'm holding my hand back on the brush because I want it to be soft. I don't want to see where this color meets her underbrow highlight, okay? I'm gonna have you turn towards me and I'm gonna go ahead and diffuse and blend this eye here. So again, using circular motions, you can use windshield wiper motions. Grab some more product on the tip of the bristles, if you will, or if you need to really deposit that color. As we blend up and out to the brow bone, it's going to blow out that color. So you want to be careful because we really want to keep it concentrated in the socket of the eye. Okay. And you can actually go and add more on the outer corner just to start to create a smoky effect. I love an eyeshadow look where it goes from light to dark. I think it's so, so pretty. This look is really great for bridesmaids, or if you just need a neutral look. This is really like a go-to for someone that's face complexion or lighter. Okay. So as you can see, her eyes are beautifully defined and brown and bronzed. So we primed and defined, okay? Our next step is to add shine. Now your shine can be something that's shimmery or it can be something that's just brighter than that socket color, or in professional terms, your crease color, okay? So I'm gonna use this beautiful, just kind of neutral tone here. This is actually from a Juvia's Place palette. I'm gonna have you look down. Now when you're applying this on yourself, you can totally go in straight like this, or you can flip your brush upside down and start at that lash line and press and pack, okay? We're gonna follow the natural shape of her eye, which is why I chose this brush, because it's kind of curved and rounded, okay? So we're literally pressing and packing that color on. We're using this packing technique because we want to concentrate and deposit that color. If I was to swipe, it will literally move the product away, and we don't want to do that. As I get closer to that crease area here, I'm using light pressure and I'm packing. So I have some on my palette here, and we're going to take a natural fiber brush that is pretty dense. Okay, we're going to get a little bit of that product, and we're going to line the outer corner of the eye. We're going from the middle and going up like so. So we primed, we defined, we added our shine, and now we're lining the eye. This is totally optional if you don't like liner, if it's too difficult for you. But it just adds a little bit more interest and definition to the eye. But I really like this chocolate brown shade because it helps to complete or complement the color story that we're going for here. Okay, I'm gonna have you turn towards me. So again, starting from kind of like the middle, as you work your way to the center or the inner corner of the eye, you want to make your line thinner. Okay. And then from there, you can set that product. I'm gonna use the same brush, but I'm going to use a clean brush. And I'm gonna take my brown eyeshadow here. This is NARS Galapagos. I absolutely love this shade because it has these gold pigments. It's a beautiful warm brown shade. And what I'm doing is literally going on top of that liner and lightly smoking it out and diffusing it. Being really careful not to get messy as we work our way to the inner corner. Okay. Now you see where this liner kind of stops and is abrupt with that bronzer we first laid down. We want to gently go over and pat, 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 and marry those colors together. You can kind of flick it up, and if you open, okay, now look down. Opening your eyes and kind of reassessing where everything is really important to the overall look of your eye. If it's hard for you to see, you can get a second opinion. You can take a picture with your eyes closed and kind of reassess from there, okay? You can get a little bit more of that NARS Galapagos and just kind of melt those colors together. Okay, you can go as smoky or as soft as you like. Okay. If you feel like you made your line a little too thick, I'm gonna have you look down. You can just go back in with that first shade that we put down. That beautiful, shiny color there. Okay, so I'm gonna do the other eye. We're gonna go in and really tap and set and press on top of that dark cocoa shade. Okay, again, this liner step is optional, but I like it because it adds a little bit more interest to the look. Okay, if you need to add a little bit more, you can totally go in. This is that same brush we used when we applied that socket color, but I'm focusing that color on the outer corner here. So my brush is really doing a lot of the work for me. Okay. you close. So as you can see, we created a really beautiful eye look here. Using minimal products. And it really complements her eye shape. Okay. So from here you can add your lashes and mascara. So we're going to do that next. So for today's lash, we're using the Ardell in the style 424. And I'm going to use my Kiss brush on lash adhesive. I really like this particular adhesive, or any adhesive that has a brush, because you can really be precise with the application of the glue. If you get the squeezy tube, sometimes it just too much comes out and it starts to get really messy. I'm just going to take the board here and kind of dry that glue down. But I chose this lash because it flares out and gets longer on the outer corner, which I really want to accentuate the almond shape of her eye. So I'm going to have you keep your eyes open and just look down. And we're going to place this extremely close to the lash line. If you want something softer, you can forego the lashes and just go straight in with mascara. And if you prefer something with a little bit more drama, you can totally go for something that's more dramatic. Okay, so we're gonna let that dry down. This glue dries clear. You can hide the lash band a little bit more if you go on top with some black liner. But while this glue dries down, I'm going to just kind of edit my shadow and just kind of make any adjustments that I see need to be made. Okay. So this glue is still drying. You really want to let it dry before you apply it, because as it dries and gets tacky, you're going to be able to place it and not create such a mess. Okay, so we're going to pop our other lash on. I'm going to have you look towards me. Placing it as close to the lash line as possible. A great tip is to, if you're applying lashes on yourself, is to use tweezers. Hold the mirror down and look down into the mirror. Because you can really get close to that lash line. Okay. So we're going to apply mascara off camera and we'll be back. So I'm going to have you look all the way up. And we're going to take the tip of the brush and just add a tiny bit. I like this brush because it's really small and tiny, and it's perfect for this under eye area here. But because we have so much going on the eyelid, I really wanted to add something on the bottom just to add some balance. Okay. So now we're gonna move on to her lip. We're gonna keep her lip very, very soft because her eyes are the focus today. So I'm gonna go in with the shade Strip Down. This is a lip liner by MAC. Okay. And we're going to overdraw just slightly. So I'm tracing the natural shape of her lip. Keeping with the same color story, we're going to do a really beautiful peachy shade. And we're actually just going to go in with a gloss. I feel like glosses are so easy and really beginner friendly. I mean, as a little girl, I remember my first makeup product being lip gloss from the hair store. And I would beg my mom, like, can I get some lip gloss? Remember like the rollerball lip glosses that had like the cherry or the strawberry flavor? And we would just walk down the street with glossy, glossy lips. Okay. So that liner is really soft. So we're gonna go in with our gloss. This is MAC and the shade Love Nectar. And we're gonna load that gloss on. So again, it keeps with the same color story of the look while keeping the eyes the focus. If you wanna do a lipstick, liner and gloss, you could do that. I'm gonna have you tap. You can totally do whatever your heart desires. Okay, I'm gonna have you tap, tap, tap. And then tap again. And then from here, we'll do our setting spray. So I'm gonna have you close. I'm gonna actually be using the Fix Plus spray just to kind of melt those powders together. Tap, tap, tap your lips again. Okay, tap. Thank you all so much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you were able to learn some of my signature tips to help you achieve a beautiful, soft, sultry, soft glam look. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.